too many draws. That's what everyone's saying about Wrexham right now. But what if I told you those dropped points might actually be hiding something brilliant? Alright Wrexham fans, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button because we're covering the Red Dragons in the Championship like nobody else. 3 massive stories for you today, and trust me, you absolutely need to stick around for the last one. We're talking about Wrexham's record in the Championship, what's really going on behind those results, and why some people think this could actually be a positive sign. But before we get there, let's talk about a midfielder who's proving everyone wrong. Story 1. George Dobson, proving he belongs in the Championship. George Dobson is finally getting his moment, and he's absolutely seizing it. Look, this lad's been around the block. Charlton, AFC Wimbledon, Sunderland, Walsall, proper journeyman career in League One and below. 28 years old, and he'd never kicked a ball in the Championship, not once. Then, Phil Parkinson hands him the shirt on opening day against Southampton at St Mary's. Massive pressure that. You're stepping up a level for the first time in your career. You're at a top stadium, and everyone's watching to see if Wrexham can handle the Championship. They lost that match 2-1, yeah, but Dobson, he's not stopped since. Every single league game this season, he's been out there. The gaffer's shown faith in him, and the 28-year-old is absolutely repaying it. When I got the opportunity to play in that first game, I knew this was my chance to show I can play at this level, Dobson said. The gaffer put his faith in me, and I'm just trying to pay that back and show everyone I'm good enough. And you know what? He's doing exactly that. Fans have been buzzing about his performances. Solid in the middle, breaking up play, keeping things ticking. He's loving every minute of it too. Playing against clubs that were in the Premier League last season. Massive stadiums, quality opponents week in, week out. It just gives you that buzz of adrenaline to want more, he admitted. That's why I'll keep trying to prove I should be playing and that I'm good enough at this level for as long as possible. Fair play to the lad. He waited his whole career for this opportunity, and now he's grabbed it with both hands. Wrexham needed players who could step up, and Dobson's been one of the success stories of the season so far. But that's not the only news coming out of the racecourse.
Right, here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. What happens to the players who aren't in the team? Phil Parkinson's got a splod full of quality now. When you bring in lads like Conor Cody and Ryan Hardy in the summer, not everyone's going to play every week. That's just how it works at this level. And one player who found himself on the outside looking in was James McElhenney. Yeah, the captain. He started the season as a regular, but after that 3-1 home defeat to QPR back in September, he got dropped. Suddenly, he's watching from the bench, coming on as a substitute, wondering when his chance will come again. Then Libby Kakache picks up an injury, and boom, McElhenney's back in. Last 6 Championship matches, he started every single one. And here's the thing, he's been brilliant. Parkinson absolutely raved about how the 36-year-old handled it. The reason players like Jimmy stay involved in football until they're 36 is because they react the right way, the gaffer said. The training standards from Jimmy have been brilliant. That's why when he got put back in the team, he was able to just pick up the pace of the game. This is Parkinson sending a message to everyone else in that dressing room. Conor Cody, Ryan Hardy, anyone struggling for minutes, this is your blueprint. McElhenney didn't sulk, didn't drop his standards, didn't cause problems. He kept working, stayed ready, and when his opportunity arrived, he grabbed it. Our strength throughout my time at Wrexham is controlling that disappointment when you're not in the team, Parkinson explained. If you're on the bench, you're ready to impact the game. If you're not on the bench, your training standards are maintained. It's proper professional mentality, that. Championship football is ruthless. You've got to be ready, because you never know when someone's going to pick up a knock and suddenly you're in. McElhenney's shown the young lads exactly how it's done. Veteran leadership isn't just about what you do on the pitch. It's about how you conduct yourself when things aren't going your way. Now those were big stories, but what I'm about to tell you next could completely reshape how we view Wrexham's season. This is massive.
Here we go, the main event. Let's talk about what everyone's been discussing. Wrexham and their draws. 10 draws, 10 of them out of 21 championship matches. That's more than any other team in the entire English Football League. Not just the Championship, the whole EFL. League One, League Two, Championship, Wrexham are the draw kings. Last match against Watford at the racecourse, Ollie Rathbone pops up in the 92nd minute to make it 2-2. First championship appearance of the season for him, first goal of the campaign, and he rescues a point in stoppage time. Brilliant moment, right? Except Watford came into that game with joint worst away record in the Championship. This felt like 2 points dropped. And that's the narrative, isn't it? Wrexham are dropping too many points. 4 matches without a win in the Championship now, sitting 14th in the table. Everyone's asking, is this good enough? But here's where it gets interesting. Let's actually look at what those draws mean. Wrexham are currently 8 matches unbeaten at home in the league. 8! That's a proper run. You don't stay unbeaten for 8 games by accident at this level. And here's the stat that nobody's really highlighting. Only the top 3 sides in the Championship have lost fewer games than Wrexham. Think about that for a second. Sheffield United, Burnley, Leeds, the big boys, and then Wrexham, a club that was in the National League just 3 seasons ago. Former Wales striker Iwan Roberts put it perfectly on BBC Radio Cymru. If they'd lost half of those drawn games and won the other half, they'd be in the top 6. Right, so that's the frustration. 10 draws feels like opportunity missed. Converting even half of those into wins would have Wrexham right in the playoff conversation. They're only 6 points off the playoffs as it is. But wait, let's flip this around for a minute. What if those draws are actually showing us something positive? This is Wrexham's first ever season in the Championship. They've jumped from National League to League 2 to League 1 to Championship in the space of 4 years. That's absolutely mental when you think about it. Most clubs take decades to make that journey, if they ever do it at all. The Championship is brutal. You're playing against clubs that were in the Premier League last season. Massive budgets, international players, stadiums that dwarf the racecourse. Watford, Southampton, Sheffield United, Burnley, these are proper established clubs with infrastructure Wrexham's still building. And what are the Red Dragons doing? They're not getting battered, they're not losing week after week, they're competing. They're going toe-to-toe with these sides and coming away with points. Those 10 draws, that's resilience, that's character, that's a team that refuses to get beaten even when they're not at their best. Look at the Watford match. 2-0 down late in the game, most newly promoted sides fold. They accept the defeat and move on. But Wrexham pulled one back, kept pushing, and Rathbone grabs the equaliser in the 92nd minute. That's the mentality of a team that belongs at this level. Phil Parkinson's built something special here. He's got players like George Dobson stepping up, veterans like James McLean showing professionalism, and a squad that simply will not quit. Here's what the media isn't telling you. Wrexham were supposed to struggle this season. Everyone predicted a relegation battle. Welcome to reality, they said. The Hollywood dream ends here. Except it hasn't, has it? 14th place, 8 unbeaten at home, only the top 3 have lost fewer games. That's not struggling, that's consolidating, that's building. The draws are frustrating, absolutely. Wrexham need to start turning those into wins if they want to push for playoffs or even just secure a comfortable mid-table finish. But those draws also show this team knows how to compete at Championship level. What would you rather have? A team that wins 5 and loses 5, or a team that draws 10? The points are the same, but one shows you can mix it with anyone, you don't get beaten easily, and you're in every game until the final whistle. And here's the big test coming up. Swansea away on Friday night, then Sheffield United, then Preston. 3 matches before the end of 2025. Massive games. Swansea at the Swansea.com stadium under the lights, proper derby atmosphere, even if it's not a traditional rivalry. Sheffield United, one of the promotion favourites. Preston, always tough. This is where we find out what Wrexham are really made of. Can they turn some of these draws into wins? Can they carry that home form, remember, 8 unbeaten, onto the road? If Wrexham could pick up 7 or 8 points from those 3 matches, suddenly everyone's narrative changes. Suddenly it's not about too many draws, it's about Wrexham building momentum heading into the new year. The Hollywood owners, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, they've seen this team go from National League to Championship. They've backed Parkinson, backed the recruitment, backed the vision, and right now, that vision is producing a team that's proved it belongs at this level. Are they playoff contenders? Too early to say, but they're not relegation fodder either. They're a solid Championship side finding their feet, and those draws, as frustrating as they are, show they've got the character to succeed here. Right, let's wrap this up. 3 stories. George Dobson proving he's Championship quality after waiting his whole career for the chance. James McLean showing out-of-favour players how to respond professionally and earn their way back. And Wrexham's 10 draws. Yes, it's frustrating, but it also shows this team can compete with anyone in the Championship. Here's what I think happens next. Wrexham need to be braver. They've proved they can't be beaten easily. Now they need to go for the throat in some of these matches. Turn those draws into wins and suddenly they're in the playoff conversation. This is still an incredible journey. National League to Championship in 4 years. Community club to global phenomenon. Passionate Welsh support meeting Hollywood glamour. And through it all, a team that keeps proving the doubters wrong. Big matches coming up. Swansea, Sheffield United, Preston. This is where Wrexham show what they're really about. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are those draws frustrating or are they a sign of strength? Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Reds!